Alright, I bought myself a new toy, and it is the Piper Seminole for Microsoft Flight Sim. Small little twin engine. Looks really good. It costs $30, so if you thought sim racing was expensive, stay away from flight sims. As you can see, though, it's just a little 4-passenger plane. No real advantage of twin engine other than it's used for training to help people get their rating for that. And we're just going to do a little flight this time, and then starting next week, once they update the US area, I am going to start a series that'll come out every Monday, kind of help expand the channel, especially since YouTube is now randomly taking away money from people, getting more views and maybe a little more crossover of flight sim people onto the iRacing stuff, because iRacing is really doing that by itself is extremely difficult to keep growing the channel. So just gonna do this. It'll be a once a week thing, and I want to fly all the way across the country from Miami to Seattle, and yeah, that'll take probably months to get done, but I'm waiting for the update that's going to come out next week. That should help some of the areas of the US look a little better, but we'll see what they do. So today's flight is just going to be not really a short flight. It might end up being about an hour. We are taking off from, let's see, this is Colorado Springs East. Let me pull up this. Just give you a little idea of where we're at. We are taking off from here, Colorado Springs East, right in the center of the video. And we're going to fly down, cross over Pikes Peak Raceway over here on I-25. Stay away from Fort Carson, and we're not going to go anywhere near Pikes Peak, although you'll definitely be able to see it. And we're going to head up this little valley and then cross over or around this little peak, depending on how high I actually want to get. I think we'd need to get up to about 14 to do that. So I think I might just stay in this little valley, go around and up here, and then we're going to land at Buena Vista. Oops. And call that a flight. Now, I'm a little worried that it might get cloudy and rainy up in that area. Hopefully not. If so, we might have to abandon it and just come down here to Salida. But we will see what we can do. Don't really want to do instrument flights, and on the GPS I have it as direct to there, but that's kind of boring, just popping up over the mountains and going flying. So we are going to kind of stay low to the ground, although we're already 6,180 feet in the air on the runway. I guess not in the air, but altitude. And yeah, way up. Mixture's already all the way down to 59%. So we are going to go ahead and get ready for takeoff, just real quick. Okay. But yeah, you can see over there, can't really see Pikes Peak. Clouds are covering it right now, so that's one of the main reasons I don't want to fly through the mountains either. And I think a little bit further south, it is clear down there. So let's go ahead and get the parking brake off. And flaps are set to 0 for the takeoff in this. Go ahead and close that window a little quieter. And we will get going. Going to be looking at airspeed here. We want to get up to about 80, 75 to 80 for takeoff. This is a tiny little airport with a tiny runway, so we'll be fine though. and then we're going to climb at about 88 up to around 6,500, 6,600. Then we'll kind of level it off and start climbing the rest of the way at about 110. So let's get going. Parking brakes are off. I already did that. So little rudder issues still with the controls I'm using. Hopefully won't have to use it too much here. We are already at speed. Quickly, let's get this up and start climbing a little sharper to get that speed reduced. There we go. That's about where we want to be. Gear up. And we'll bring this nose down just a bit here. About 100, 110, and we can start looking back over to the left, and we're gonna head that way as we climb out. Want to stay under the clouds for now. Now, don't know everything that I do, not sure how legal it'll be. I don't know a whole lot. Just fly for fun. Not sitting here wanting to be a pilot. Even though I would have made a hell of a lot more money than I do. At 75. Climb a little quicker here as in the turn. Look back over to our left, you can see the airport, although it blends in pretty hard with the terrain. And I think we're going to just head off this way and call it good at 8,000 for now. Go ahead and trim this thing out. Alright, so taking a look at the map, at the angle that we're going pretty much south. That's going to put us... trying to figure out what these buildings are up ahead. Trim a little more there. Let's take a quick look from the external view. So, a lot of little creeks around here, dried up, and not a whole lot. We're in the flat part of Colorado at the moment, but you can see Pikes Peak back there. Still can't see the actual peak because it's covered by clouds. Hop back in, and we are going to wondering if this blue thing is something that I shouldn't be flying over. We're gonna end up flying over it. Let's actually stay a little left of the airspace here. Not using the radios and all that stuff just because it's computerized and can get really annoying. Alright, so I at least know where I'm at now on the map. Thanks to the GPS, we're going to follow this road down. And then we'll get turned right to... okay. Ignore the jumpiness. I need to get a new stick. We're going to go ahead and get the heading selected to here. That way my controls can't screw everything up here. Alright, so let's go ahead and back off the RPM. And let's do an altitude hold. We are actually higher up than I wanted to be, but that's fine. Sit here at 86. Right now we are going about 130 knots. So, good speed. Now if we were headed straight there, it'd be about 28 minutes, but we're going to take this long roundabout way. I see the little reservoir over there, so we need to look for, there's an even smaller one. Actually, that smaller one is probably what we want to head towards. Let's go ahead and get that turned. Just using autopilot to fly. We'll go find this racetrack. So yeah, not a whole lot down here, just past the mountains. Things will start looking interesting once we get there. You can kind of see Pikes Peak now. Just a bit behind the clouds. Zoom out on here, see if I can get a better idea where we are compared to. Alright, so the racetrack is just going to be right there, so we can probably start to turn a little bit more. Go at about 24. Just basing this all off of the VFR map that I'm using. Once we get past the racetrack, we'll climb up some more, just because we are only at 8,600 and we got a long ways to go up to be able to even get to the airport we want to. At least get over some of the mountains so we don't have to fly completely in the valley. Alright, so there is the main airport. Then we've got the reservoir below that. We should have a reservoir just in front of us. Right there. And then the racetrack should be up here somewhere along the interstate, which we can't see at the moment. Trying to spot the interstate. I think it's right along this actual little river, but yeah, it is. So we've got the racetrack's got to be, is that it there? No. Oh, it's right in front of us. Look at that. I aimed perfectly. Let's just go over here a little bit more. So I don't even think there's stands there anymore, but the actual track itself is fairly kept up and used for testing. Plus I think they threw a little road course in the center. Not sure how it's going to look since it's all just aerial images, but we'll hop outside once we get a little closer. was a really good track. It's just a little too far south of Denver to make it work. And out in the middle of nowhere, even though town's right up there, but doesn't look like getting in and out of there was too easy either. So actually a big event going on there when they took the photos, it looks like. So can't even see the infield road course that well. Looks like they got a golf or a go-kart track there as well. A little drift skid pad and everything. Kind of like Iowa, but less banking. Way less banking. So, there we go. Step 1 accomplished. Now let's head up this way. See, the terrain is starting to jump up into the sky. We are going to kind of skirt along the side. Let's go ahead and start our climb up. We want to look at about, this is going to be safe for us, get to about 12,000 if we can handle it. Not sure what the clouds are at. Got some rain over there on the mountain. Luckily, it looks like our path is going to be clear, so won't have to worry about that too much. So we're going to head to Canyon City, or near it, and climb up. Canyon City's at a 6,000 feet, but then we immediately get into like 9,000 feet just after that. So I think 12 is going to be safe. It's going to allow us to scrape over a couple of peaks that are going to be at 10,000, and we won't go too far north, so that's going to put us into 11,000 and 12,000, and then south of us is going to be 13,000 along this ridge here. I'll show you. So we're right about here now. There's the racetrack, and what I want to do is come in here, over there, and then up if my mouse is showing. Just got to watch out for this ridge here and then these little peaks here. Up outside again. See some really cool looking terrain here, but being from Nebraska, anything that is not flat is cool looking. Got down there, is that a city? Yeah, that is sort of Pueblo. It's just on the back side over there. So it looks like ceiling wise for the clouds we're going to be fine. We are at 10,000 now, just crossing over that. if I can pull up any information. What's hard about this game is it's supposed to be based on real weather, but most of the time it's completely off. So then you can't really look online to see what the weather should be at the airport that you're going to. So we're just gonna have to hope. And we're about to cross 11, and we should be able to start turning directly to the west now. So let's go ahead and do that. That way we don't go too far south. Can get away with skirting the sides of these little foothills to the Pikes Peak. And I think that is going to be Florence and Canyon City down there. Let's hop outside real quick again. Yeah, so right about here is Florence. And then Canyon City, I think, is up there a bit. It's a really cool looking terrain, though. This game, when you get to the right places, it looks so damn good. Oops, and I realized I forgot to do this. Cowl flaps, put those up, get us a little extra speed here. We're at 11.5 now. Got a bit more population below us. Still Pikes Peak just hanging out in the clouds up there. And we're about to hit 12 here. Slow this down so it's not so abrupt when I hit hold altitude. Alright, and now we are at our peak altitude. Gonna bring the engine back just a little bit. Want to be at about 115. There we go. Alright, so you saw that little V formation to our right, so that is this right here. So we're right about here. And we're going to continue straight west. And then that's going to bring us into this valley once we cross over Burned Timber Mountain. This whole area, Wall Mountain. And then once we get to Salida, then we're going to turn up towards Buena Vista, and that'll get us to where we want to go. So, quite a bit of flying to do over the mountains, but not a whole lot of visibility since you got the 2 engines sticking out there. And I'll keep popping outside just because I love looking at the terrain. A lot of little bluffs, I guess, is what I would call them around here. This is going to be what I said was Canyon City. There's that V shape that I was talking about. We're flying over. We got this like X here. That doesn't really show up too well since it's not a massive change in elevation. So the highway or interstate, whatever it is going through this area, it's going to go down south, and you can see that it jumps through a really big valley through there, and then it's going to pop back up north in front of where we are. Trying to pick out where that's going to be. We've got a long ways to go till we get there. Screenshot real quick. Alright, so gonna pull up the information now for Buena Vista, which is AEG or AEJ. Central Colorado, and looks like the runway's 8,300, so massive runway. Have no problem. I have to find out if my brother has ever landed here. He flies to all these little Colorado towns. There's a massive gash in the mountains there that the highway goes through. Pretty crazy. I guess it doesn't start heading south until up here, so we've still got to go up over these mountain peaks here, and then we'll get to where we want to be. Now we could easily just head up over this way and get to the airport, but I am just following some roads. Looks like we got a massive bridge there. Wonder if that's a real thing or not. pretty impressive if it is. Such a great looking game, though. Alright, so now the road and the river are going to head south. We're going to continue on straight. It may need to turn us just a little bit. I think we're heading... No, we're heading straight west. So we're fine there. We'll go in between these two peaks, but we'll still be way over them. Be fine there. A little bit of sun. Pikes Peak still covered up back there, and just a little line north of us that looks like it's raining. We're gonna miss out on all of that, thankfully, unless some of this is rain up ahead. Then it might get interesting. Not that it's gonna affect the flying of the airplane, but it will mess up my visuals, and basing this all off of poking around on maps to know where I'm at. Alright, so this is where it's going to get tougher for me to figure out where I'm at, just because now we're getting up into the mountains and there's not a whole lot of items that you can pick out. That looks like it might be a fun drive down through there, up through there. So now everything is like, even the flatter areas over here where the road is around 6,500. So we got a little glacier action there too. Maybe it's just a bit of leftover snow. Yeah. Really weird flat tops on here. Like that right there. It's just a nice little flat area. Up here is a little bit flat. And that's a pretty cool peak over there. Not sure what that is. Maybe Saddle Mountain, looks like. Looks like the name might fit. Alright, well, let's double check things. Might be going a bit too far north. I think we're okay to make it over all this. I just don't want to think I'm in one area and then get there and find out that I'm not. Yeah, this is just a little bit of leftover snow cover in the aerial photos. Let's see if we can see the valley that the road went. There's that river. So it should be coming back up around here. And I think I'm going to move just a bit south because I'm farther north than I thought I was into these mountains, and those peaks are getting up to 12. Oops. So annoying. Scrolling. And then you slightly go off of it, and then you zoom out. Alright, well, let's head over this way. Just be safe, because I'm guessing those are the 11.7s and 11.6s. So right now we're 36 minutes into this. But once we get turned to the right, should speed things up, and we'll be, well, we're actually not going to be too far off once we come out of these mountains into the valley. So should still be under an hour. Yeah, I think we would have been fine over that. Not over that one. Or that one, but definitely needed a little turn, and it does look like we're going to have a bit of precipitation, or just kind of lower clouds, not sure which. They're kind of just hanging in the valley that we're going to eventually turn into. Not a whole lot out here. Trees and bears. I don't even know if they have bears, but... Okay, so we should hit a bit of a valley here. And then up ahead, this valley is where we want. What are we at on temp? That temp seems way too high. I'm not sure if that's working properly. But I did forget to turn these on. Let's go ahead and put those on in case we get into clouds. I don't think this temp gauge is working right. Unless it is a lot hotter out in the Denver area, Colorado area than I thought. This game is so amazing, though. It blows everything else away for VFR. Alright, so we're gonna get turned and head up in this direction. That river is the road that we are looking for, I think. So let's get turned back to the west. I think we can turn a little bit more towards the north now. Cut some time off of here, but get around this peak. Now we should see That might be... No, I don't know what that is. That might be Wellsville? I could be completely lost. Yeah, I think that might be Wellsville. So a tiny little town there. Once we get up over this mountain range, then we should be able to see Salida. And then the river that you can see coming out of there is South Arkansas River. And then the river that we've been kind of following is the Arkansas River. Alright, so elevation of the airport, 8,000. Everything that we're going to encounter after we cross over into this valley is about 8,500 or less. And I think I might be able to see the lights on the airport, actually. Nope. We are going to get into a little bit of rain, maybe, but it's not going to be anything that's going to mess us up from being able to see. Unless we got to go too far north up there. There we go. And there is Salida. Just tucked away in a little valley. And cool little airport there. Looks like it's built on a bit of a bluff there. So what I want to do is get nearly over town, and then we are going to turn at about 33 degrees. That should put us to where we want to be. Let's see if I can pull up the airport now, see if they have weather.
Kilo Alpha Echo Juliet automated weather observation 22000 Zulu. Wind 147 at tree. Visibility tree in heavy rain. Sky condition few clouds at 800 feet, few clouds at 4,500 feet, few clouds at 11,700 feet.
All right. So the clouds and all of that are a little bit messed up on there. Let's go ahead and get turned now. I'm just taking a guess. We want to be at that angle. And then ahead is where we're going, somewhere up there. So it's going to be pretty narrow. It might be right where you can see the shadows of the clouds. It might be before that. Is that a runway? Oh shit, that's the runway. Alright, so we can see it already. Let's go ahead and drop. Take the gear warning off for a second. Drop altitude. Still up over these mountains, so we can't go too hard. We'll be able to line up fine here. Just one more look outside, make sure that I am looking at the right spot there. So, we are headed right to there. We are now at... We're going to have to drop fairly quick. Let's go ahead and go down 1,000 foot a minute. We're about 6 minutes out right now. I want to get down to 10,000. Then we can get lined up with the runway. And then just fly by hand the rest of the way. Let's go ahead and bring it off to the left just a bit. We're at 11.6 now. Actually, we're at 10.6. Yeah, we're almost at 10. Slow the rate down. Trees are starting to get larger below us. We'll still descend. We'll just do it at 300 a minute right now. And go ahead and get this thing lined up here. I need to check and see. Okay, which one is the runway? Looks like the shorter thing is the runway. Okay. Glad I looked. It's runway 33 that we're going to be landing on. Altitude now 9.7. Let's go ahead and hold here for a bit. Pick speed up just a bit. Got one white. And one red. Let's just continue to descend at 3. Actually, I'm just going to take over now. Oops, I forgot to turn landing lights off. I always do that. Alright, so let's get the gear out. Can take the gear warning off now. Got more white than red. Bring it down a little farther. Let's go ahead and slow it down. There we go. Even on red and white. And kind of getting bouncy here. Get a little more power. Hold it around 88. And we're we're going to avoid all the rain. It looks like it is pushed north of the airport. We're at 9,000, so we got 1,000 more feet till the ground. Although what we're over is probably at 8,400. Little off to the right. Holding at 90, we're going to go another bit of flaps. So pull the nose up a bit, push it down. Throttle down just a bit more. Gear is down. A little too low. Bring it back up a bit. Slow her down. There we go. Even again. Looking to put it right on the 2 white dots. Loaded it a bit. Pretty rough. Didn't bounce it at least. Go ahead and get on the brakes and catch the next taxiway. Nice little valley town. And we'll turn off here. Not sure. I think general aviation is down this way. I think those were just farm buildings that were too close to the airport, so they kind of looked like hangars. Little rainbow there. Nice smooth flight. Didn't run into too many issues. And had clear skies the whole way, so that's good. Do not want to do any mountain flying in the clouds. So, like I said, I am not a professional. I just fly to look at the terrain and have fun. Not too keen on doing everything perfectly like I'm a pilot. If I wanted to be a pilot, I would have done that. I'm just enjoying flying and looking around because this game is just amazing looking. Go ahead and park off over here. Alright, so let's go ahead and put on parking brake. And we're going to kill that engine first. And knock that one off. Alrighty. So, yeah, I love this airplane. Like right now I've done 4.5 hours of flight in it. Just a really, really good plane. Modeled really well. And, yeah. So, I'm probably going to take this thing and every Monday we'll be flying a across the U.S. with it. So, flight path, Miami to Seattle. If there's somewhere that you want me to look at on the way, let me know in the comments. I'm not going to be able to get to everything everyone says. Otherwise, it'd be darting all over the place. But I think it'll be a good way to kind of mix up what's on the channel, but not get away from the racing. So there we go, 46-minute flight, and hopefully you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching.